Are you fatigued all the time, have unexplained weight gain or brain fog, or even low mood and depression? These are all common symptoms of having a low thyroid function. Maybe you've even been tested for your thyroid function and the doctor has said that your numbers are looking good, but you can still be suffering from the symptoms of hypothyroidism or an underperforming thyroid. The good news is I have 9 tips for hypothyroidism to help support that healthy thyroid function. So tip number 1 is to fix something called your leptin resistance. Often we have leptin resistance, which is a hormonal signaling system between our fat cells and our brain and our nervous system and all of our other hormones. And this often precedes insulin resistance and having issues with balancing our blood glucose levels. So this is something, if you don't know a lot about leptin resistance, please check out my other videos because it will really help to guide you how to fix that leptin resistance to help your thyroid at the same time. Tip number 2 for low thyroid is to decrease your EMF exposure. So I'm talking about man-made EMFs, electromagnetic fields that are in your environment. So whether that's your cell phone, it could be, of course, Wi-Fi, anything that's plugged into the wall has a toxic effect on your thyroid gland, as well as having too many artificial lights in your environment. That's not balanced by the natural rays from the sun and the natural full spectrum light. This will also have a toxic effect on your thyroid, so protecting yourself from that toxic blue light is very important as well. Tip number 3 is to get natural sunlight exposure on your thyroid, especially first thing in the morning. You want to see that early morning sunrise and exposing your thyroid, so your bare skin towards that sunlight, really, really important for helping because of those healing rays from the sun, as well as trying to get out midday for some UV exposure and also in the evening as that sun is setting, those healing rays from the sun, the red, the near infrared, very, very healing and helping to stimulate that thyroid function. Tip number 4 for hypothyroid is to do a full body detox. And what does that mean? Well, that means taking specific herbal medicines to really help to detoxify all of the internal organs at once in a gentle yet effective way to make sure that you are always staying ahead of those environmental toxins that we're exposed to, whether it's in the environment, in our food, in our water, and even some of the beauty products that we use as well, is always adding to that toxic load. So always taking away from that toxic load, that means doing that full body detox. We have links below if you need some more information about how to do that safely and effectively. Tip number 5 is to eat more iodine rich foods as well as mineral rich foods. So things like seafood, oysters, one of my favorite, mussels, as well as other types of seafood, really rich in those important minerals, especially that iodine for that proper functioning of our thyroid gland, which is so important. Tip number 6 is to do some hydrotherapy, so meaning using water on your thyroid. So basically you go between hot and cold compresses on the thyroid, always ending with cold, to help to stimulate that blood circulation in the thyroid gland. Will really do a lot in terms of those symptoms and helping to get that thyroid going. Tip number 7 for hypothyroidism is to use some of my favorite herbal medicines, some of which address not only the insulin issues, but regulating leptin levels and helping to support the thyroid gland with those essential things that it needs. And some of the herbal medicines that do this are ashwagandha, helps with the conversion of your T4 to your active T3 hormone, so your thyroid hormone. That's really important for proper and optimized functioning of your thyroid, as well as forskolin and the amino acid L-tyrosine, again, really helpful at supporting that healthy thyroid function. Tip number 8 is to ensure that your diet is rich in the minerals, again, and those nutrients that the thyroid needs. Sometimes you may need to supplement, so things like iron, especially if your iron levels are low, magnesium, very important as well, and selenium. So selenium is something that is absolutely important for that proper thyroid function. And tip number 9 for hypothyroidism is to make sure that you're making that mind-body connection. So when we talk about this area of the body, this is the 5th chakra, and that 5th chakra has a lot to do with, it's an energy center, has a lot to do with being able to voice your truth, to be able to speak out for yourself, and to also stop swallowing your emotions. So if you're that person who can't always deal with, some things going on emotionally around you, and and you swallow down your emotions, you don't speak your truth, that can actually shut down your thyroid gland and its proper functioning. So I hope this is something that will help you, because it's not often what is talked about in terms of, holistic medicine and how to do things naturally. A lot of people focus on diet, exercise, and all those things, which is great, but also that mind-body connection, especially for the thyroid, is really important. But for more information though on foods that you should and maybe shouldn't eat with a low thyroid, please check out my video, Thyroid Diet, Hypothyroid Diet Foods to Eat, Foods to Avoid. I'll see you there.